Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football, another scintillating Saturday of Premier League action. Check out my Manchester United reaction on the United stand to a brilliant win against Brentford. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Spurs, who are top of the league for at least till tomorrow and thoroughly deserved it. Fantastic performance from Spurs again. Are they title contenders? Not for me, but they are 100% deserving of credit. I think people say it's only Luton. They were down to 10 men at 0-0 and then they score a goal and then they hold on to results and they had 68% possession with 10 men. Absolutely incredible. Look, Luton are going to go down. We know they're going to go down, but it's almost like you're rubbish and then you do something really good and people go, well, it's only Luton. This is Spurs. This is Tottenham. It's really impressive. This is Tottenham who last season or the season before, when they go down to 10 men against Luton away or whoever, they lose the game. And everyone expects them to lose the game. But to win that game from 0-0 with 10 men and then dominate possession still, it's incredible. It's incredible what Ange is doing, but it's incredible what the players are doing. And the fans must be absolutely loving it. And I think they deserve so much credit. I don't know where Spurs are going to go this season. I don't know. It's interesting, actually, when you look at it, that Spurs are top of the league. But I still think Spurs fans will be looking at it going, they'll be looking at that Chelsea result. They'll be looking at that Man United result. They'll be looking at Newcastle and going, well, they're not in the top 6 at the moment. And they're winning, and are they coming for us? So look, I think it's really, really interesting. Hopefully we can have a really exciting tomorrow in relation to the title race, but Spurs setting the pace, and I think there's a lot of more twists and turns to come. But as I say, Spurs have got some really winnable games coming up as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I want to talk about this game today. I also want to say Spurs are a little bit unlucky. I want to make it very, very clear that I still think that the officials around the decision last week is a disgrace. I was listening to Mike Dean today saying that that mistake won't happen again, but the protocol probably won't even change, and if it does change, it'll happen in the summer. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But Spurs fans sort of took it personally. I think it's not about Spurs, it's about officiating, and I thought Spurs were a little bit unlucky today. Whilst many people applauded Bissouma's second yellow card for diving and sending off, and I don't think anybody can really argue with that, I would also say the inconsistency is a joke, because I've seen that so many times. I've seen it so many times when a player's on a yellow card and they take a tumble or a dive or whatever you want to call it, and the referee will refuse they'll refuse to do it. I've seen dives like that not even carded so many times, and people want to lie and make up the fact that, well, the referee got it right. But he didn't get it right, did he? He didn't get it right. It was a dive and you can have a yellow card, but we're talking about inconsistency again. And I'd say 90% of the time that wouldn't even be a yellow card in that scenario, because they don't normally do it. And then a referee does it and they applaud it as good refereeing, but tomorrow you'll see it not given. And this is my point. I'm not here to champion Liverpool or Spurs or Manchester United. I'm here to champion the fact that football isn't as good as it should be in this country, because we are inconsistent in our officiating. And I'm not going to applaud a referee for getting a decision right with Bissouma's second yellow card, when I know for a fact over the last season or so I've seen that not given countless times, and it's the inconsistency that we get with the handballs and the penalties as well. So look, I think you can't argue with the red card, but in another game he would have stayed on the pitch, and that's why it's massively to Spurs' credit, because I think they were a little bit hard done by in the fact it was inconsistent. If that was given all the time, you'd say good decision, can't argue with it, but we know it doesn't always get given. Anyway, Spurs didn't need any hands out. Spurs didn't need any injustice or inconsistency arguments. They won the game. They deserved to win the game. And if you look at their next few games after the international break, they've got Fulham at home, then they play Palace away, then they've got Chelsea at home, Wolves, and then Villa. And I think you look at those games and you go, you'd expect them to beat Fulham. Crystal Palace could be tough, but if they can win there, that's 2 wins in a row after this, keeps them right up there. And then Chelsea at home becomes absolutely massive. So I think Spurs, no European football, no Carabao football. If they can keep people fit, then they've got a great chance. And I think Spurs now, you're looking at Christmas. You're looking at Christmas and you're going, can we, by Christmas, be comfortably in the top 3 or 4 with a gap on the Man Uniteds, the Newcastles, the Chelseas? Because if they can, and they've got that Harry Kane money in their pocket, it gets really interesting in the second part of the season. It's about consistency for Spurs now. That's what it's about, because they have been so good and they deserve the credit. Because look, you know what? Maybe they do fall away. And if they do fall away, well, they deserve the credit, don't they? It's a bit like Arsenal last year. Arsenal didn't win the league, but I still think they had an incredible season, and therefore they deserved to be championed when they were doing well, especially at the start of the season. And it's the same for Spurs. So really, really good from Spurs today. As for other performances, look, Chelsea's result against Burnley was one I predicted. They went 1-0 down. The thing about Chelsea is they're scoring goals now. They scored goals at Fulham. They've scored goals at Burnley. 2 away games that traditionally Chelsea would expect to win. But that's not what Chelsea have been doing for the last 18 months. So to go and win at Fulham and to go and win at Burnley and do it comprehensively well and score a lot of goals, this will be... It's almost like the international breaks come at the wrong time for Chelsea. In a way, it's come at the right time because they've got injuries, and 2 weeks with no football helps those injuries. But on the other hand, they've actually got a bit of rhythm. They've actually got a bit of fluidity in that team, and they'll probably wish they had another game coming. But, it's all to play for when they come back. And I think that, again, I think this Premier League is so interesting. I look at the league table. You've got Tottenham at the top, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, Chelsea. There's 11 teams there that, all right, Crystal Palace probably fall away if I'm being honest, but there's so many good teams, and obviously a lot of them are going to be playing each other each week. And the challenge for the Chelseas and I hope Manchester United and the Newcastles as well, who are playing catch up to a certain extent, is can they, when you're catching up, you're not playing Burnley every week, you're not playing Sheffield United every week. To catch up, you're going to play Villa, Brighton. You're going to play all these teams. So really interesting. In fact, for Chelsea, the challenge for Chelsea is actually where I was coming to. Straight after the international break, they play Arsenal. Then they play Brentford, but then they play Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, Manchester United. I mean, that's a horrific 6 games, isn't it? Manchester United, Brighton, Newcastle, City, Chelsea, Arsenal. It's a hell of a run for them. And that's why you might fear for them a little bit, because you'd go, well, you know what? Can they keep winning? But they're starting to play well. They're Premier League. We bloody love it. So yeah, big shout out to Spurs. Don't forget tomorrow, double watch along. I can't wait for this. Brighton, Liverpool, and then Arsenal, Man City. It's going to be a super Sunday of watch-alongs on That's Football. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like on the video, and I will speak to you on the next one. And don't forget, if you want to listen to it, Goldbridge Saves Football podcast is out. We did our worst Premier League team of the season so far. Yeah, give it a check out. Also, I predicted that Nicholas Jackson would score a goal this weekend on Goldbridge on the podcast, and he did. Speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching.